everyone, welcome to the December 2024 Lake Geneva Market Update. My name is Margaret Labus. I'm a broker with Starboard Group of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices here in Lake Geneva. I hope this gives you some idea of where our market's been, some of the numbers that you need to pay attention to if you're going to be buying or selling in this market, but also my predictions of where we're going to go in 2025. Look back at 2024. For keeping with that boat theme, it is a slow, no-wake market. We definitely did a lot of business during 2024, but we didn't make a huge waves in terms of lots of homes sold or huge price appreciation or huge days on market. Like we didn't really make any wild changes to our market here. It's pretty much been go slow and go steady over the past 3 years post the pandemic unicorn years. Things that I think we need to pay attention to are days on market, price appreciation, and the months of inventory. This is where we currently sit in our listing count. These are the homes for sale, including active and pendings each month. So we're a small market, but we've been steadily growing year over year. We're still nowhere near where we were pre-pandemic levels of homes on the market. And there's a whole bunch of things that we'll talk about that kind of contribute to that. This is our current snapshot of where we are. We're slightly above where we were this time last year in terms of homes that are currently on the market. So that's a good thing. There's not been any wild shifts in that arena. Median days on the market, this actually has been trending up. That's not unusual for this time of year, the seasonality of this year. But you can kind of see even during our faster months, anywhere between 60 and 70 days on the market is pretty typical what we see in the market here. So good news for both buyers and sellers. We still do have very much those houses that go in a day or two. We still see competing offers in those very, very hot neighborhoods or hot attributed houses. But we do have houses that have been sitting for a while, and that might give buyers a more opportunity for negotiations. Our median list price pretty much bounces around, grows during our spring months, and then we see price reductions in the middle of the months and in the middle of the summer and then into the fall. Can't really explain why we're seeing a huge price increase for our median list price in October and November, because we're talking about some, relatively small numbers. Any one lakefront home might skew the numbers one way or the other. So I just think it's really interesting. This graph talks about how opposite we are of the national market. And I think that's a good visual to keep in mind when you're looking at when you might be getting some of the best deals in this market, or when you want to be listing to take advantage of some of the better listing prices. This is also an interesting graph about number of homes with price reductions. You can see most of our price reductions start in June and then continue into the fall months. That might be counterintuitive to a lot of people, but that's the way that our market really goes, is December, January, February, March, April. That's the really high season in our market. After the holidays are over, we'll start the new year off with a bang, and we'll see a lot of buyers flood back into the market. Sellers, you should be listening. If you're going to be wanting to be in a market where you have the most amount of buyers looking for property, you want to be on the market January 2nd. So, and you can see there's not a whole lot of demand by sellers to be cutting their prices during those months. But as the year pushes on and we're into the summer months of June, July, August, you'll see that there's just a lot more demand on those sellers to be lowering those prices. There's less buyers in that market. Most people are out enjoying the lake during summer, not necessarily thinking about investing in real estate. Months of inventory in the market, we're exactly where we were this time last year, 3.4 months of inventory on the market. I think that's also that we're still very squarely in a seller's market. Anything under a 6-month supply is considered a seller's market. And I think that we're going to continue to see this in 2025, this pattern. Looking ahead, I'd like to talk about interest rates, exact pricing in new construction, because that's really going to be what moves the needle in our market. There's been a lot of chatter about interest rates. I do think that those obviously have been the brakes on this market. We would see a lot more inventory. We would see a lot more buyers that are ready, willing, and able if we saw lower interest rates. Right now, Mr. Shagra thought that his prediction is we need to get into the low fives to see any real inventory come back on the market. I don't know if we need to be in the low fives, but I do think we're getting into the high fives would be a huge boon for our market. These are just some projections from Fannie Mae, MBA, and Wells Fargo. I've averaged the three of them, and you can kind of see we're stubbornly, slowly falling into the low sixes. I'd love to see a 5 handle on these because I think that would really make a difference, not only with our supply of houses on the market, but buyers that are coming back into it as well. This is just a graph of those predictions, and you can kind of see we're stubbornly just bouncing along the same lines, somewhere between 6 and 7. Now, I think that's also going to dampen our home price, our appreciation. We've seen crazy amounts of appreciation in our market over the past 5 years. Double-digit year-over-year growth. It's not sustainable. It's not something that indicates a healthy market. So I think the average that these experts are saying are somewhere in that 3%, which is historically been the acceptable and the conservative appreciation amounts across the board. Now, of course, this is national. We are above the national average when it comes to our appreciation here in our area. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens to prices next year. I do think that single family new construction is really going to be one of the best ways that we're going to see inventory feed into the market. Stubbornly in the sixes, we just don't see that seller coming to the market that's going to either move up, move down, move cross country. Those people that have the option of moving are going to stay put, especially if they've refinanced over the past 5 years and have a very low interest rate. But there still are people that need to move. They've got new jobs, they've got life events that happen. So there's plenty of those people that are still in the market, and new construction is really going to be one of the best ways that we're going to see any kind of relief to our low inventory. So working with an agent that knows new construction, that knows very well about what new construction is happening in the area is key to being able to find the home of your dreams, or being in a frustrating situation where you're just competing with other buyers on the market. So that's my wrap up under 10 minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. Any one of us is very happy to help you, and we'll see you after the holidays. Cheers.